So this little tangent makes sense. What's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
To
bring it full circle.
What's that? No. Like just
time ribbon opens up
to make this tangent make sense. To qualify this tangent.
Oh,
this is the kind of stuff you can expect on Into Dorkness. Like just like these freewheeling conversations
about ejaculate and the proper places to deposit it.
I don't know. It just
I put mine in a sperm bank. I don't waste it.
I think we in my sperm bank you just a sock.
Yeah, but I put the sock in it.
Yeah. You like hang out a clothespin and you hang it up.
You put sperm on it and put a little like money bag on it.
And I hang it in the freezer. I'm like, it's
good. That's it.
I'm like, honey, get the sock.
You use ice cream trays.
Generations are being saved.
Use ice cream.
Yeah,
trays.
I pour from the sock once a week into an ice tray.
And throw them in the
back in the freezer.
Yeah. Wow, even I.
And then like we go to your place and you make us drinks.
It's
funny. And it's like, honey, what ice tray did you use?
This made Julia probably salty.
Spit it out! My babies!
Pull it back! I'm running around with the sock to different party guests. Spit, you bitch!
Don't swallow.
Shore leave.
This is you.
This is your legacy.
I'm of the opinion that it's somewhat sexist. I mean, well, it depends on the why the male wants to do it. Like to me, like it seems like a lot of males would do that. I think it's almost humiliating.
Right. It's like a domination thing.
Yeah.
Some people on both sides of the equation
like to be dominated.
Right.
Men and women like to be dominated.
But I don't know. It's like it
is tied into a generations of misogyny.
Well, that's the thing. Like I used to be of the mindset where
I can come wherever I want.
I was like, I'll come on your mom. Fuck you. But I used to be the mindset like, don't think. I mean, you're fine. You're looking for stuff that isn't there. You're thinking way too hard about this. Like you're just coming on a chick's face at NBD. But
I still feel that way.
But at the same time, like now, like I'm trying to think like yellow. Like what else? I used to. Now I'm thinking of like, well, it's like maybe it's like so deeply ingrained in me, like this, like that misogyny for like kind of like not that I act on it, but like just the idea, like all these like values and like beliefs, like are so ingrained in me, and maybe even genetically, like over generations and generations. I don't know. Having a daughter really fucked me up.
I don't think it fucked you up. I think it's good to ask yourself why you do the things you do periodically, and if you think you're doing something for a bad reason, then maybe you should stop.
Just come into the places. It's not a big deal.
Just come on.
There's so many places to come.
There's so many places. I've never done it in the ear. It's hard to get out.
In the ear? No.
Up a nose?
I usually do belly, titties.
What about right
cheeks.
on the butthole? Like not in it, just like, on it.
No.
Surely. That's what I do on my furloughs.
But okay. Anything to add about shore leave? Tits McGee?
No, not really. There's one more thing that I didn't like about the movie the episode is that
the story.
Yeah. I think like after he mentions Alice in Wonderland, like something from Alice in Wonderland,
the rabbit
automatically shows up, and they don't make that connection. Like I was just talking about Finnegan, and Finnegan shows up. Like they just don't make that connection.
Like that's weird.
That's one of the most tiresome things about old TV shows is how long it takes the characters to get to the conclusion we, as a modern audience, jump to automatically.
Yeah,
like
it's so fucking tiresome.
Like and I guess this will work as a segue. Like Devil in the Dark. I was watching that with my friend Conan, who was just here, who just spoke about Wolf in the Fold. Changed my mind about that.
Changing the world's mind.
Changed my outlook on that.
Open to the Star
The
Trek
characters
Midrash
were like, look at
Institute.
these balls. Like these have no purpose. And Conan's like, oh, those are eggs. Like
yeah, I picked that up too. I was like, oh, eggs.
But speaking of the Hortus and
Devil in
the Dark, let's bring our next guest up.
Yeah.
What was that little hand symbol?
And we have one last
go
raucous shore leave.
Shore leave!
Hooray for tits.
Hello, ma'am. How are you? Introduce yourself to the Into Dorkness community.
My name is Mary Beth Phil.
Hello, Mary Beth.
Hi, guys.
So you wanted to discuss Devil. I always want to say Dancer in the Dark.
It's way better than Dancer in the
Crazy,
Dark.
which is crazy because I've actually never seen that movie.
I have.
I actually neither.
It's available for $5 at Half Price Books.
I think I still
Mary Beth
own.
could get it for
I think I still own the soundtrack on vinyl. I bought it for a girl I was dating at the time. She loved Bjork, and she watched the movie and she's like, oh, and she bawled her eyes
Yeah,
out.
my wife cried. During
And so I was like, hey, remember when you cried a whole lot? Like here's
here's
the music to your here's the
Here's
soundtrack.
another reason. to
Here's the
cry.
soundtrack to your sadness. Yeah,
I've got the soundtrack. It's weird.
it's Bjork. I mean, for sure. So
Yeah.
why do you want to discuss Devil in the Dark?
I've been rewatching some of these episodes, not all of these episodes with you guys, because I'm a busy lady.
I hear
I
you.
just can't. So when I saw Dancer in the Dark, I know I've seen this episode before, but did I
You
really say that?
fucking did this, Sergio. Mary Beth just hit
When I
Sergio.
saw it, Devil in the Dark, I really, really enjoyed the episode, and I kind of didn't know why.
Because of the Fraggle Rock
Well,
monster.
actually, here's an interesting thing: is Rob and I, my fiance, who I'm winning up, incidentally, the reason he messaged me on the dating website OkCupid was because I said something snarky about a Star Trek movie.
Oh no, which
So-
one?
What would you say?
Insurrection.
Star Trek Insurrection.
We saw that in the theater opening night.
So did
No,
I.
that was it was
Nemesis.
that we
You're right.
saw
You're right.
in the
You're right.
theater opening night, and we were the only two who laughed at that one scene.
Yeah,
Um,
we'll get there.
but so the whole reason this fella and I.
So
met
what did you
Star
say?
Trek.
What was on your profile?
Oh,
and do you want to plug the dating profile?
Cupid.
Okay, there you go. Okay, Cupid.
Yeah,
bringing nerds and dorks together.
Yeah, and
We should try to get
our
them as
dear
sponsors.
friends who are getting married tomorrow also met on
Okay.
OkCupid, and
Oh my goodness.
What were you saying,
You
Mary
can pull
Beth?
Mad Tail on
What?
that side.
Oh, just now. I'm sorry, I didn't hear. The rest of
that
it,
our dear friends who are getting married tomorrow also met on OkCupid.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
And because they're so cute together, that's why it didn't take too much for tits over here to
My sister tits.
my
Tits
sister
McGee.
to encourage me to sign up for the website.
Well, I'm
So-
very glad you
and
did.
I mean that's the whole reason.
And I'm sure
me
you're.
and this fella.
So
But
okay,
it
Cupid.
was,
you know,
I
we
made
need-
a comment about how I like Star Trek
Need that
and
sponsorship.
I like the Star Trek movies, but it seemed that what was it that
It's just some
the
odd number movies.
yeah I
You
said that
I
the
like
even
Star
number
Trek, even some of the odd number movies.
This is good.
the odd no
That's
that,
even
that was
number.
the thing is I said
Nemesis is good.
It's got
I
Tom
said
Hardy
what
in
the
it.
odd number movies weren't as strong as the even number movies, and I put in parentheses, I'm looking at you, Insurrection.
Yeah.
And Rob messaged me that he thought Insurrection would make a good 2-part episode, not necessarily a movie.
I completely agree. What little I remember of Insurrection, I think it would make a decent episode. It would be a run-of-the-mill episode, but as a movie,
No, it was a good movie. It would have made an excellent episode.
I think that
Excellent episode.
the problem with
All
the
right.
I mean we'll get to it, but I think the problem with the Next Generation movies is they didn't go big enough soon enough, and by the time they started, they were still trying to do them like episodes. Even First Contact plays like a really great 2 or 3-parter.
for sure.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that the classic Trek movies, that's a mistake they didn't make. They're small, but they feel big. Like budget wise, you look at Wrath of Khan, it's a tiny movie, but it's so fucking good. And that's the thing is there are no stakes in the Next Generation movies really. Until Nemesis, they have one stake, and it's pretty brutal. We'll get there.
One
But,
steak.
yeah. But we're talking about Devil in the Dark.
Really quickly, my go-to on OkCupid is if
Dick pics.
is a dick pic. I'll be like, hey, interested? And, if a
It's
girl,
taken on an old Nokia.
if
so
a
it's
girl,
like all
it's really
ASC2.
blurry and did like pixely.
It's just a dark blur.
If a girl says that she likes Doctor Who, I'll always ask who her favorite Doctor is.
And that's a real quick way to weed out the posers.
Yeah, and one girl messaged me and was like, "Hey, who's your favorite Doctor?" And I was like, "Well, it's cliche, but I have to say, 10th Doctor simply because I've seen episodes from the first 3 and 9, 10, and 11, so it's got to be Tenet." And she's like, "Oh, cool. Mine's Steve Baker. I love his scarf." And I just didn't even message her after that because I was like, "It's not. It's Tom Baker." I was like, I just like snarked on a dating website like
For
because
Doctor
Who
misconceptions.
I don't know. Devil in the Dark. Devil in the Dark.
Yeah, let's talk Devil in the Dark.
Well, I called my mom just before I left to come here because she's the one who initially got me into Star Trek. You know, like it was so much to her when she was younger, and then you know, it kind of I guess was our bonding thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can very clearly remember doing that every Sunday evening was watching Star Trek. with her.
Right.
One of my earliest memories is watching Wrath of Khan with her and being so because I was so young. The scene where
earwigs terrified
when they put
me.
the earwigs, I can very clearly remember burying my face in her lap because
I remember
I was
that.
so terrified by
That sounds
when I was younger.
adorable.
So,
I just picture like you look the exact same, but just like you're smaller and doing that.
I do like you know how sometimes you see a picture of someone when they're younger and it's like that I guess that's that
I
person.
look the exact same. Yeah.
I like my pictures of me when I'm younger. It's a mini me. I look exactly like that.
Ditto.
Yeah, you look pretty
So
much
I
the
called
same,
my
except you're
mom.
dressed like a Colombian drug lord.
Yeah, for sure.
That's how your mom dressed you. There, I'll say it.
I called my
She
mom,
had aspirations.
and we were talking about Star Trek, and she told me that while they were filming Devil in the Dark, William Shatner's father died, and he didn't want anyone to know.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
He,
It wasn't on
he
the
was
Wikipedia.
able to go away for a weekend, and he was able to see his father just before he passed away. But during the actual filming, he died, and he didn't want anyone to know. But his assistant knew, and somehow Leonard Nimoy knew. And Leonard Nimoy was the only person who knew about the episode. And I wonder, who knew about it during the filming of the episode. And I wonder if that's why I like it so much, is because my favorite episode of all time is a mock time, and it's just because of the moment at the very end where Spock is so happy to see him alive. He says, "Captain, Jim!"
That's right.
And
he gives him that huge fucking smile.
and so I want, because I think there was that connection there, like that camaraderie there.
Right.
And to this day, according to my mother, whenever something major happens in William Shatner's life, Leonard Nimoy is one of the first people he will contact and notify about it because
I like that.
Yeah, isn't
That's very
that
sweet.
sweet? And like, so I don't know. I guess that friendship between those two characters, and my mom says this constantly about the Wrath of Khan when Spock passed away.
Right.
That was
Spoiler
like
alert.
that was like losing a member of her family, you know, and
It's such
can
a
you
good
imagine
moment,
seeing that for the first time and not knowing that there might be more and that there's going
It's like Lord of the Rings.
It's like
Yeah,
Gandalf dying.
Yeah, exactly.
Like at that point, there's no kind of like precedent for that. Like, oh, this character died, he's dead. Like, we're not going to see him again. That's it.
yeah,
like,
and he
nowadays,
sacrificed himself, you know,
To
and
save
like that.
everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Like the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one. Yeah.
And the Kobayashi Maru, what did you think of my solution? That whole monologue. Oh, it's
but yeah,
so fucking
nowadays, like, you know, if they announce like
these things are franchises.
like yeah, you'll
they're
see,
pre-built.
they'll announce a sequel before the original is even out, and it'll be like, oh well, you know,
and
like,
you know this person
yeah,
signed
yeah,
on
this
to
guy,
it. And,
this guy signed on.
You can
for
do
3
the
movies.
math and figure out.
And so like, oh, he died, but for sure he'll be back, you know, whatever. But you know, back then there was no interwebs for one.
Right.
Has the internet ruined everything?
I don't think so.
Or
It's made it
when
a
we
little
saw
harder.
Nemesis and Data passed away, they
Yep.
left it pretty open that he could come back.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
then
The movie
the franchise,
tanked, yeah.
the franchise didn't do
Well,
well
and
after that. Like,
I read in comments from him, he didn't want to come back after that. He felt he was getting too old
To
Yeah.
play the
Too many
android.
goddamn
Brent
forehead
Spiner.
wrinkles.
because he was more obviously aging. And
Yeah,
All those
and
fucking
androids
forehead
are with
wrinkles.
age.
Yeah.
An excellent point.
Forehead wrinkles.
They should have put him through some sort of magic machine that turned him
As
human.
much as the fans want.
Pinocchio style.
Well, in
He was one of the best characters on the show.
in the last episode of that series, the character decides to put a gray streak in his